Hello, boys and girls. We're going to look at the more difficult questions in DSE 2012, Part B2. The total score is 46. We're only picking the more problematic ones. Okay, question 42, the difficult question. What would the intense discussion be about in line 2? All right, whenever we have a discussion, that means there are two opinions and it's A versus B. You need to find out what A versus B is. Not only that, when you have a discussion, you want to convince people that you are right. So here we're talking about which is better. So the answer should tell me which is better, A and B. Let's have a look at paragraph 1. Okay, so we have the article called Why Chinese Mother Are Superior, and then it sparked intense discussion, and then Amy, parenting memoir. Parenting memoir is she recalls, she tried to remember how she was like as a parent in China. And then there was a contrast between Eastern and Western styles of parenting. Okay, so now we have A and B, Eastern and Western styles of parenting. Which is better? So that should be the answer. Let's have a look. Okay, superior parenting, Eastern and Western styles of parenting. Okay, so here are the answers. If you say whether A is better or which one is better, A or B? Yeah, so these two will be the most obvious answer. These two, whether, which is okay. Right. Next. Okay, next question is question 46. In line 11 to 12, Chua insists that Western children are no happier than Chinese ones. So that means if so Western children are not as happy as you think. That's what the sentence is. And the question is, why would some people presume that they assume before they come up with the conclusion? They think before they find out the truth. Western children are happier than Chinese children. So why do they think that Western children are happier? So this is a comparison here. It means, in other words, it means why is it that Chinese children are not happy when compared to Western children? We need to find out why. So let's have a look at paragraph 3, line 11 to 12. So yes, please draw the lines, highlight, underline with me. Amy Chua explained that her hardline style, that means very tough style of teaching the children, public shaming, that means in the public she would yell at the kid, and then insult, 侮辱, intended to force greatness from her girls. So she's doing this because she wants to help the children, the girls, to become even better than who they are. So that's why she is doing all these negative things. Okay, paragraph 2, let's go back to paragraph 2. Why? Because we need to find out what she actually did to force the greatness out of the children. So she was very demanding. You can see such demand, such as Chua's relentless, that means non-stop insistence. So she is very stubborn. She insists on her children to get A in every subject, okay? And then mandatory, that means a must to have music practice. And even when the girls are having holidays with their grandparents, no, practice music, and I want you to get A in every single subject. So this explains why Chinese children are being thought as not as happy, because what's wrong with the parents? What's wrong with the parents? The parents are too, can you type in the chat box? They are too, what's the word that you can use to describe Chinese parents in this case? Too strict, right? Too strict. And Western moms are, because Chinese moms are stricter, so we assume that Western moms should be less strict than Chinese moms. So there are many answers. You can say that Chinese moms or parents are stricter, Or you can say Western moms are less strict. The other way to say it would be Western children have more freedom because they don't have to play musical instrument. They are not asked to get straight A's. They're not pressured to get straight A's. So that's why people assume that Western children are happier because they don't have all these practices and demand and expectation. Question 47. Why does the writer suggest reading Chua's book as a cautionary tale? Okay, what is cautionary? Cautionary comes from the word caution. So it's the 感嘆號, okay, like red light, okay, you need to be alert, be alert. Why does the writer suggest when we read the book, we take it as a cautionary tale? That means, so it means that, hey, do we fully believe in her, what she said? Now, cautionary means you need to think about it by yourself and be careful. So when this question use cautionary to describe tale, it means, hey, maybe something in her book is not right. So let's have a look. So in paragraph 3, highlight stunned by Chua's explanation, forced greatness from her girls, her daughters are envy of the neighbors. So that yeah, maybe Amy's girls, the daughters, are the envy of. Envy of, that means 羨慕啊. But who is the person who envy and not who's the person who envies? It would be the neighbors and friends. They envy Amy's daughter having such success in their lives. Okay, so you need to learn the structure are the envy of neighbors. That means they are not 羨慕鄰居啊. It should be the other way around. The neighbors envy the daughters. Okay, and then they are good in every way, academic accomplishment. So all of the words that we underlined just now, they're all positive, right? All positive. But in the final sentence, you have the word ironically. Ironically means 諷刺地. In that case, it's like the word but. Suddenly, the last sentence is negative, okay? This may be read as a cautionary tale that asks just what price would be paid for achievement. So it's not as good as you think because there could be some sacrifices for the girls, Amy's daughters, to do so well in academic. Maybe they sacrifice something, okay? It's not as cool as you think. So the writer doesn't want people to think that, oh, Amy Chua's book, it's an amazing book. All the parents should learn from her. No. Cautionary tale means, hey, be careful, everybody. There's something wrong with this book. So there are many answers here. There's a cost for success. You can say there's the cost of achievement may not worth the price of success. So you need to tell me the success comes with sacrifice. Or you can say the book questions. You need to use the word question. 還有反問啦, how much people has to pay, or you can say has to sacrifice in order to be successful. Or you can say children suffer, or you can say children, there are some negative effects on children. So all of these would be the answers. I think the easiest one would be there is a cost for success, or you could say that people need to sacrifice in order to be successful. Children need to sacrifice in order to do well at school. Question 49. The question is, why might the response from what should surely be the wild kingdom of Tiger Mom surprise reader? So highlight why. You need to find out why. Highlight the response. What response are we talking about? We need to find a response from Wild Kingdom of Tiger Moms. We need to find the keyword Wild Kingdom of Tiger Moms in the passage. Surprise readers. So we need to find out why there's a wow after people read the response. Okay, let's have a look at paragraph 1 because we need to find the answer from line 3 to 4. Okay, Chinese moms in China aren't raising superior kids actually, so not all families are going crazy. Why Chinese moms are superior have sparked huge debate. So you know debate means argument. Sparked huge debates, that means, hey, people don't agree that Chinese moms are better. Superior means better than others. You're higher up. You're the top level, okay? But spark a huge debate means people don't agree that Chinese moms are that amazing. But the response from what should surely be Wild Kingdom Tiger Mom might surprise you. Okay, so yes, in this paragraph, here it said there's a debate. And then from the first line, Chinese moms in China aren't raising superior kids actually. That means not all of them are raising kids in such a crazy way. Okay? That's why the answer would be not all mothers are tiger moms, or many Chinese parents' parenting styles are not as strict as Chua. Yeah. Or you can say the opposite. You can say moms in China, they are following the Western style of parenting, or people do not agree with Amy Chua's idea, or they are against the idea. Okay? Okay, number 53. Compared to Chua, Guo's style of parenting is more, okay, we've got two difficult words here. Exemplary means commendable. If you don't know what commendable means, it means ideal, perfect, typical. Okay, typical means everyone is doing that. It's very typical. All Chinese moms are like that. Okay, D, permissive, comes from permit, that means allow, but not, it's not your duty. You are allowed to do it, but it's not your duty. So we need to find this name Guo. It's in paragraph 2. One real Chinese mom is 39-year-old Guo, okay, Jing, a government office worker in Beijing with 8-year-old twins. Yale law professor Amy Chua is of Filipino Chinese descent. That means Amy Chua, maybe the dad is Filipino, the mom is Chinese, or the other way around. Descent means 好人啊, and lives in US, not in the US, not in China. So Gua said, I won't be like Amy. I don't want to pressure them. I want to have their own hobbies, develop their own ability. I won't make decisions for them. So it sounds like Gua Jing. It's more flexible. It's more flexible and not so pushy, not so strict. So we need to find the words that are positive. Okay, is it traditional? Well, if it's the traditional parenting style, it would be like Amy, right? So academic performance comes first. But it's not. So we cross out traditional. Is it efficient? Well, we don't have enough evidence to show that it could be more efficient, so I wouldn't pick efficient. That leaves us with exemplary or permissive. Is it ideal? Does it, well, for us, okay, what's ideal in this case? Is it straight A's, getting really high marks in exam, or develop the child into a whole all-rounded kind of person without a lot of stress? Now, we cannot comment on that, so I wouldn't say that Guo's parenting style is ideal or typical because we do not have the numbers. We don't know how many percent of Chinese mom in China are like Amy, very strict, okay? Musical instrument at 10 p.m. at night. Or Guo style, which is more which allows more freedom. So we need something similar to freedom, and it would mean she allows the children to do many, many, many things. That's why the answer should be permissive. Question 54. What is the main idea of paragraph 4? Let's have a look at paragraph 4. Trust strict parenting guidelines, including long hours of piano practice, the endless rules, the homework that never goes unfinished, the lack of play dates. Do you know what play dates are? Play dates means you have friends to come over and play with you at your home. Amy does not allow that. No TV watching, no electronic games are familiar to many mainland Chinese families. That means in China, a lot of families know about this way of teaching their child, of parenting. One recent online, so that's the topic sentence. The topic sentence gives you the main idea most of the time. So that means a lot of mainland Chinese families, they are familiar to this strict parenting guidelines would be the answer. But you can have a look at the next few lines. On one recent online survey in China conducted in response to the controversy over Amy Chua's book, found a majority of Chinese netizens will be the people in the internet, ticking the box that stated, yes, starting from when I was little, my mother always said that I'm not as good as others at this or that. Okay, so when your parents kept saying, hey, you're not as good, that means they think you're inferior. Okay, you're not as good means you're inferior than others. So you could say mainland Chinese families, they're familiar with this strict parenting style. Or you could say Chinese parents like making negative comparison, or Chinese parents likes to tell that their children are not as good as others. You can say not as good as others, or you can say inferior. Okay. Question 62. Name one problem college graduates on mainland are facing. Can you see I've highlighted one problem? Because when that is a question, that means you need to give me a noun or a gerund. Noun or gerund. That's the right way of answering the question. But of course, depending on that year, maybe they're lenient. I do not want you to think that, oh, that means I don't have to pay attention. No, please remember it. Name one problem means you need to give a noun or a noun phrase or a gerund as your answer. So what are the problems that the graduate faced? Let's have a look at paragraph 7. Okay, China is suffering a glut of, that means quite a lot of them, college graduates cannot find appropriate job. So that is a problem, right? But we need to change it to a noun. So how are you going to change it to a noun? You could say lack of job. You could say unemployment, right? Jobless means unemployment. And unemployment is a noun, so that could be the answer. And they are broke. They don't earn enough money. So, but you need to use a noun, so you can't say they don't earn enough money. Another thing would be too few practical skills. Okay, so there are many answers here. You can say unemployment, you can say lack of money, they are broke, lack of practical skills. I did expect the answers to be all nouns, but I can see answers like can't find an appropriate job is acceptable, lack money is acceptable, or broke acceptable, lack of practical skills. Okay, next is question 67, rewriting summary exercise. Okay, we've done that before. Let's have a look. Read the instruction, always read the instruction. Summarize the idea, and we look at paragraph 7 and 8. Words can be found in paragraph 7 and 8. Use one word per blank. And hyphenated word is counted as one word. Hyphenated words like first, -8, first aid would be one word. All right, the new underclass is China's. Okay, underclass, do you know the word underprivileged? That means not meeting the average, is lower than average. Is China. So what is lower than average in China? What is? In these two paragraphs, 7 and 8, they talk about the graduate students, right? The college grads, or you can say university graduates, you can say jobless graduates, you can say jobless grads. As educated professionals, they expect high-paying jobs on completion of their studies, but employers complained that many lack even the basic skills. You don't say practical skills because you can only put one word in the fill in the blanks. Neither in the workplace. The excess, that means the more than enough, too many, of white-collar workers has led to after should be a noun, a shortage. That means not enough blue-collar workers. So what are blue-collar workers? 藍領嘅員工, what does it mean? That means these people, they do not use a lot of their brain at work. They will use a lot of energy physically, moving things around. So those are the blue-collar people. People working in the office, they are white-collar people. This in turn has encouraged high school students, we need an adjective to describe students, to skip college or nationwide entrance examinations with S, because we're not just talking about one, and apply directly to vocational schools, not just one. You do not see in front of the blank. That means it should be in plural. If there's no in front of the noun, then the noun should be plural, okay? Question 68. Which word is closest in meaning to ossified in line 54? So we've got 4 words. We know stressful, we know inflexible, I'm not sure if you know repressive, we know competitive. So I guess repressive is the most difficult word. It means suppress. You stop people from doing something. Inflexible means you're not willing to change your behavior. Let's have a look at paragraph 9. What the Chinese mom debate swirling around Amy Tra's book fails to adequately consider is the fact that American classroom. So there, in the first 2 lines, it said, hey, why is everybody talking about Chinese mom? Why are they talking about this topic? After the release of Amy's book, why? Well, here it said that Amy's book fails. That means it's not successful to give enough to be all-rounded and find out how different stakeholders are handling this case, or whether it's true that all Chinese moms are tiger moms. In America classroom and society in general are more conducive to individual expression. So that means in Western country, they want you to think by yourself, okay? They want you to be able to express what you have in mind. They encourage sharing and talking. However, in China, the rote learning, that means a lot of memorizing things, right? That she stressed at home might work for her daughters. Why does it work for her daughters? Where does Amy live? Is it in China? No, we know that she's half Filipino and half Chinese, right? And she lives in the US. So her daughter, when they're not at home, they are surrounded by American way of thinking. So think independently. But in China, where authoritarian parenting is coupled with, what is coupled with? It means plus, okay? Not only at home you have really strict parents, but the higher education system is also, ossified is also like that. How is it like that? They are reluctant, they resist to change. They are not willing to change. So it's all about memorizing. They don't want you to change much. Creativity is default. Because we know that there's not much change, the word default, you probably can guess that it means not much because it's not moving. Okay, so not much creativity. The father knows best Confucian 孔子儒家思想 approach is applied to repressive degree. That means you don't have much freedom in China. Amy is lucky because she lives in the US. So if she's really strict at home, it's still okay for her children because her children will go to an American education system. So the children will actually learn both sides, learn to be obedient at home and then learn to express themselves when they are at school. And that's why the answer should be ossified. All right, so we have strict parenting skills in China coupled with plus. Okay, so when we have plus, that means the other word, the second part should also be bad things, right? The bad thing would be not flexible. Okay, resistant to change means not flexible. Resistant to change means not flexible. The answer should be B. Learn the word repressive. Repressive means suppress. 壓抑壓制啊. All right, last one. This was also difficult. Not a lot of, I don't think any of you know how to answer this. Question 73. Do you think that the key to success is a hybrid of East and West? Explain. So you can't just say yes or no. You have to explain. What does hybrid of East and West mean? So you need to think of an example that represents the East and an example that represents the West. Okay, what is famous in the East when it comes to teaching children? And what is famous in the West when it comes to teaching children? Do you agree that the key to success is a combination of the East way of teaching and the West way of teaching? You need to tell me what it is. Don't just say the Western parenting style and we need a little bit of the Western way of teaching the kid and the Chinese style of Eastern style of teaching the kid. That's not clear. Here it said explain. So you have to tell me what East parenting style is and West parenting style is, and then you can say yes or no. So if you decided to say yes, you could say in China it's about father knows best guidance, or you can say really strict direct orders from parents and teachers. So there's a pressure to follow what people with more power than you say in the East. But it's good to have so if you say yes, it's good to have both East way of parenting style and Western way of parenting style. Then the next thing is to tell me what children can learn in Western style of Western parental style way of bringing up them. So if you have father knows the best guidance, you have more tips from the adults. But if you have also picked some of the good qualities in the West, it would be, hey, you have time to develop your own hobby, you have time to develop your abilities. So a bit of both is actually easier to and better for the child to develop into an all-rounded person. However, if you choose to say no, I don't think it's the key to success. I don't think we need both Eastern way of parenting style or a Western way of parenting style. So you can say creativity is best developed with a Western education, and there is little to be gained from rote learning like education in the East. So this is only one of the answers, but you need to relate it from the text. You need to pick the examples from the text. From the text, it said that Chinese learning is a lot of rote memorization, right? The Western way is encouraging innovation, creativity.